Well, you know what happened.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Georgia Shooting Connection Friday night live stream. Thanks for coming out. I appreciate it. I'm Nathan. We're gonna have a special guest with us a little bit later tonight. He's running a little bit behind. So when he gets here, we'll have him introduce yourselves. But we'll go ahead and start off with Jamie and say hi and to the folks.
Hey everybody, hey Willie, hey Shane, hey all y'all guys. Special hello to Eddie B. I'm not familiar with him. Welcome home, brother. Fuzzy's out there. Frankie Cletus. So we had a big time last night. Y'all missed out. I wished I'd have missed it. I needed to be asleep. Yeah, we had some weird goings on in the middle of the night last night, Nathan.
Yes, sir. It sounds like it. Willie, I'm sorry I missed your call, buddy. I had something else that had my attention, and then by the time I ended up seeing the phone, it was morning, and I'm not going to call you at 6:30 this time because you would have just went to bed, maybe. But
I think Willie's got his days and nights mixed up. I think he stays up all night and sleeps most of the day.
Yeah, I think that's my natural proclivity. Like if I'm left alone, like if I'm not paying any attention to it, I'll end up going to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning and waking up at 9. I don't know why.
That's what I'm gonna do when I retire. I'm gonna stay up and watch cowboy movies all night.
Yes, sir.
Sleep till about 1 o'clock and then go to the range and reload and then maybe go play golf.
Yeah, absolutely. How much gun smoke can one man take? We'll find out.
Kyle, congratulations on the video from Georgia Boy. Georgia Boy, I'm glad you got your stuff. That was nice of you to send it to him. I enjoyed seeing that. That's definitely not a Harbor Freight. What yellow was that you was telling us before we went live?
That is Eastwood orange yellow. It didn't coat as well as I was hoping, but well, I actually have one right here. It didn't coat as well as I was hoping, but it gave it a really nice coat. I mean, it's totally coated, totally ready to shoot. It comes out looking kind of like that. There's a couple of spots. Is that better?
A little bit.
That was funny. There's a couple of spots where it's thin, but it's just you're trying to cover a dark metallic object with a bright thin coat of powder paint. So it works good. It sticks good. Hadn't had any leading out of them, and I've shot, I don't know, several hundred of those yellow ones through a couple of different pistols and hadn't had an issue.
So would you consider that a yellow jacket?
Yes. Well, I see what you did there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go dogs. Woof, woof. I just said that because of my curtains in my room.
So OP2.
Hey, Scotsman. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's all right, man. It's all right. I was just going to say hi to Shane and Scotsman. Hey, Loads of Bacon just jumped in. Hey, brother, nice to see you. He's kind of here. So yeah, I appreciate you guys coming out, especially being that we had a live stream last night that from probably some slightly more entertaining members. I know I'm boring, so
I don't know if it was entertaining.
Well, I mean, it obviously tuckered you right out. MCK, glad to see you.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, hopefully, guys, we're going to have Chico Wise on here shortly and I think he's relatively new to reloading, so get kind of a little bit of a input from somebody that might be, pretty new to it, which would be good. I haven't done anything. So
there's Mr. Curtis. He's in the house.
Hello, Curtis. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I was excited about trying to con him into coming on with us is because somebody that new, especially with a Dillon 650, is going to have all kind of good questions for us and for the guys in the chat room.
Mostly for the guys in the chat room because I can't attest to having any knowledge at all.
You don't speak blue.
I just don't. Man, it's like going back to those questions. I'd be almost lost. I bet. Like, it's just a lot of that stuff I haven't dealt with in so long.
Yeah.
I get it on the reloading room on the Facebook group. I'll try to answer some of their questions, and the way in which I answer it, I'm usually talking over them. And it's not, I can't help it for whatever reason. I was always a really cruddy trainer. Never my nature.
I know on one of the comments on one of my videos, somebody said, "Hey, can you make a video of you setting up the dies?" And of course, I'm thinking to myself, "Why? I've already set them up, and I don't have to mess with anything."
Yeah. Well, my answer to that, because I got that exact same question one time, Kyle. Somebody said, "Hey, can you make a video showing how to set up dies?" And I honestly, my answer was, "Well, Hornady has a manual." Like, what do you mean?
Right.
Like, I mean, I was like, just follow the directions.
You hit him with the RTFB answer.
Yeah, and I know that was kind of almost rude, but I didn't mean it to be rude. It was just that it's like, to me, it's. I mean, each die, there's differences in die sets too. So I don't know. I'm just not. I've never been much of a trainer. It's not my strong suit.
Well, typically dies come with directions, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And,
And everybody can attest to this. When I was first starting out, it's kind of an intimidating process setting up dies until you've done it a couple of times.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
And then you find a die that acts wrong. That makes it even worse.
I can't tell you how many pieces of brass I have just destroyed because I didn't do it right.
Yeah, the worst die I have in my entire collection is I think it's like a cowboy die for 38-357 by Hornady. Oh man, once you get that thing finally set up and working right, it's like, break out the chisel and the stone and the granite. You don't ever want to touch it because that thing is such a hassle the way you have to set it up.
Just get your TIG welder and weld it, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Just run a bead all the way up it. Done. And it didn't help that I had a very.
Jim showed up.
Hey, Uncle Jim, how's it going, brother? I'm glad to see you. It's been a while. The other thing that die, it wasn't the die's fault. I thought it was. I thought I was getting really inconsistent seating depths. It was driving me berserk. Like, one I would hit in the crimp groove, the other one I would hit like up over the shoulder, and sometimes I'm just, what the hell's going on here? And I checked and I checked and I checked. I could not figure out what was going on. And finally, I looked and I actually measured my bullets, and I was actually smashing the nose of my bullets running through my Lyman lubricizer. I was actually compressing the bullet. So the bullets were all too short. There was like a handful of bullets that were just too short. I was like, that is just.
Was it the Hornady roll crimp die?
Yeah, it's a Hornady roll crimp die. It is the one that and it's a cowboy action die is what it is, and it's just.
Yeah, a friend of mine that reloads that I work with, he's run into the same thing, and he's got his wall of shame, all his bullets that he's destroyed up there.
Shane's still at work, brother. I hope you have a good night and everybody's safe. Yeah, loads of bacon. I agree. Lots of people don't read, man, and that is so daggum dangerous when you're talking about reloading. Pick up a book, man.
I'll ask my buddy Dale a question. We'll be doing something, and I'll ask him a question, and he'll say, "Well, send the directions right there," and I just want him to tell me the answer. Just tell me the answer. He'll say, "Well, reading is fundamental." I'm like, shut up, Dale. And I want to take a second to apologize to Uncle Jim for telling him to take his sunglasses off last night. It seemed to really upset him, but I was just kidding around.
I saw Uncle Jim do a quick test video today. I guess he's messing with setting up live streaming for with his laptop. So I'm guessing then that Uncle Jim is really starting to get serious about this whole live streaming thing, and that does us all a service, unless it's 2:00 in the morning. Then I just have to watch the replays. But he's he's a good personality in this group.
He's Uncle Jim.
Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah, Fuzzy. I don't know, man. I don't. If somebody can't or won't or doesn't have the aptitude to learn how to set up a dies, would a lead loader just turn into like a pipe bomb? I mean, I just can't see it going well. A loaded round and a hammer and kaboom. I cannot see that ending well.
I mean, the
I know
lead
that.
loaders, they work great. I know why they made them and all that stuff. It's, it's cool. You can carry it with you in your pocket, because I like to, when I go down to the shooting property, I'll take a press. That's the main reason I bought that little lead turret press. I'll take it down there and just screw it to the picnic table down there and work up a load. You can shoot them right then. It's no big deal. So I know the concept behind them. But something bothers me about taking a hammer to a primed cartridge.
Yeah. Thomas Pickering, thanks for showing up, brother. I've always liked lead loaders, but I'm more of a. I have one. I think I showed it one time. I picked up a Lyman 310 tool, and that's my more personal favorite. I think I have a little bit more control over it. Yeah, I need to do a video on that thing. I threatened to do that when I bought it. Still sitting in the box. I cleaned up all the stuff out of it, and then too much to do, not enough time, right?
My grandfather had a couple of Lee loaders. I remember them. I wouldn't call it a crawl space at his house. It was like a basement, but it was dirt floor. It was like an elevated crawl space. And he kept a bunch of all his tools and stuff like that down there on shelves. And I remember seeing a bunch of those lead loader kits, and I'm not sure what happened to them, but they're gone, long gone now. But they've been around for a minute.
Yeah, what I've always I don't think this actually is correct, but I've always considered a concrete floor a basement and a dirt floor a cellar. And I don't know why. It's like if I walk in there and there's a dirt floor, it's a cellar. I have no idea why.
All depends on where you're from. Is it dinner or supper?
Well, it depends on what time it is. I mean,
well, no, it's the same meal. It doesn't matter when you eat it.
No, it's not. You see, to me, no. See, because supper is historically old people speak for eating dinner at 2:00 in the afternoon. Dinner is consumed at 6 or 7. 4. Thank you. 4:00. So dinner 6 or 7, for me and for some people later. But yeah, supper's early, man. If I'm gonna have supper, that means it's 2 to 4:00.
So supper's
Thanksgiving time.
Supper's the Captain D's happy hour. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yes, sir. That's the happy hour at Denny's.
That's funny.
Yeah, bacon is, as long as there's bacon. You're right, buddy. I had some bacon on my pizza tonight, and I probably shouldn't have. I'm trying to lose a little weight here.
Cool, Curtis. Curtis says he's got like over 20 of them. Talking about the lead loaders. Awesome.
Wow. Yeah, that's when you have 20 lead loaders, that's actually a collection of lead loaders.
Right.
Like, you've got a collection going on there. They've probably got like certain serial numbers and such. I have no idea. See, maybe that's where it comes from, Vanessa. Is I'm originally a Mid-Atlantic boy, and maybe that's where it comes from. I don't know.
A Mid-Atlantic boy. That's not what you're at.
I'm just saying, man. So maybe that's where that whole cellar thing comes from. BLTs tonight, Uncle Jim. I imagine that you're making BLTs in some kind of like crazy like stone forged thing, or it's all wrapped up in clay, and I don't know, man. But I bet it's good. The early aluminum scoops. See, that's a thing, man. That's like. I totally get that. Like, I have some collector's blood in me. I deny it as much as possible because I don't have collector's money.
That is awesome, Curtis. That's killer. To have them with the aluminum scoop, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's collector stuff right there. That's like, the pre-war Lionel thing. I get it. That's cool, man. Dooga.
Oh, bacon. That yellow. I guess you saw it sitting on the thing here. This is my girlfriend likes to call it macaroni and cheese, but it's actually orange yellow from Eastwood. It doesn't coat as well as I wanted it to, but it does. It coats a lot better than the Harbor Freight. I just bought it to try it. So
the Harbor Freight yellow, as far as I can remember, it coated well. It just wasn't color fast. It was splotchy. Like you had a full good coating, but it was like clear in spots and other spots.
Right. This is a lot better than the Harbor Freight yellow.
You mean like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's splotchy to say the least. This is load 5 of 35 Remington. I can't wait to get out and test it and finish up that video.
Let's see. All right, here's what I'm talking about. You see, it looks nice and yellow, but if you turn it right here, there's a line right there, which y'all probably can't see, but it's splotchy. It's not what I wanted. It doesn't coat like these violet ones. That violet is an awesome color from Eastwood. And thank you, Mr. Emperor, for discovering that and throwing it in video, because you've turned me on to a very nice color, and I love the coating.
Killing time. Nice to show up, brother. Appreciate it. So did you guys, when we're waiting on Chico here for a sec, did you guys see or catch the TRM live chat last week?
I watched some of that.
I haven't had a chance yet. I've been behind on everything. So hopefully this week I'll get back to doing the weekly recap and get back into the swing of things. But yeah, I didn't get to catch it. So I didn't know if there was anything. Big Al, thanks for showing up, brother. I didn't know if there was any big news or any major, things that came up that were worth reiterating, so to speak.
Get caught up. You're under orders.
I need to get caught up, brother. You're absolutely right, man. And I am really, 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 really frustrated at some of the things I'm behind on, like going and getting the whole Hornady setup done. It's just been a matter of priorities, man. And I love reloading and I love shooting, but in the end, there's some other things that take priority, and they've been kind of coming pretty fast lately. So I'll get to it though. I promise. And my own weird time.
How did your die rack come out? Have you finished that?
Half the 3/4 done, sitting in the damn carport.
Still sitting in the carport? Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything else on it, and I thought it was a really cool idea and wanted to see it when you got done.
It will be. Now, what happened was, and I don't know how this happened, measure twice. Somehow or another, I jerked up the measurements to where my 3 inside rails, because this thing's got basically it's got 2 outside and then 3 inside rails, and then you slide your die holders into each spot. Somehow or another, they're a half an inch off. So what I got to do is I got to trim a half inch off the bottom and then put it up on the top and move them down and try to blend all that the best I can, so that I don't have to recut all that, because that is a pain to do in a table saw, man. It's cutting all those 3/4 inch grooves. So that's all I got to do, and then finish it. And it's just, when I found out that I measured it wrong, I set it down gently and turned off the circular saw, went inside. And that's where it's been sitting. So I need to get it done, because the carport looks like a small little wood bomb went off in there, and I don't like that. So,
Miss Kitty, if you get to Georgia and you don't let some of us know, we're going to have our feelings eternally hurt.
I agree with that.
You can find us on Slack. We're pretty easy to find. While we're out there, and while Bacon's on here to correct me if I'm wrong, if you want to get in touch with anybody that's on the Reloaders Network, and most of us guys that do reloading videos on YouTube are, particularly in this circle of people that we chat with and so forth and so on, you can go to the Reloaders Network, and on one of the drop-down menus is a selection called Chat, and that will tell you how to download. It's an app that you download onto your phone, and then you can get in touch with any or all of us.
I appreciate it. Big Al, you were sorry about that.
I was just going to ask you if that was about right.
Yeah, absolutely. The process sometimes, I don't get this. Like, I think somebody said that they had to be a request. Like somebody had to request them or invite them. I don't know. I think that's what the chat thing does. I think it sends an invite probably or an invite request to Bacon. I don't know. Big Al, brother, I am sorry to hear that, man. I cannot imagine like getting the excitement of getting a machine like that and then getting it dashed because somebody dickering around with the taxes. Georgia, is it the whole state, Jamie, that just passed that crap law? Or not law, but basically passed online sales tax? I think so.
I think so.
Glad to see you, brother.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate the invite.
Absolutely.
Chico, what's going on, man?
How you doing, brother?
Oh, just living the dream, just trying to figure out whose it is.
Sorry I'm late, man. You know.
No worries, dude. It's all about time. It happens.
So
I didn't get
that blue Kool-Aid.
I didn't get a request to you early enough, man. I wish I would. That was my fault. Jamie said something about it. We talked about it. We talked about having you on for probably 2-3 weeks, and Jamie said, "Hey, you're gonna invite him this week?" I was like, "Absolutely."
I appreciate.
I think that was on Monday, and I finally sent a message on Thursday on Slack because I just wasn't thinking about time, and so I do apologize for that.
No problem, man. Thanks for the invite. I'm still learning how to work Hangouts and Slack, and it's kind of I'm still getting used to it, so it's a learning curve like everything else in life.
Man,
it's a whole lot of stuff all at once, man, and trust me, ain't none of us got it figured out yet.
It took Kyle, I'm not embellishing, it took Kyle 6 weeks to figure out how to get on here. Like 6 weeks worth of a half an hour, 15 minutes trying to figure out what his method was going to be for being able to get on to the Google Hangouts and stuff. So
what it boiled down to was an iPhone issue, and the only way that I can do it like with just a couple of clicks is he has to text me the link, and then I click on it, log in through Google and all that stuff, and then boom, it comes right up. But if you just click it, it doesn't work on an iPhone for some strange reason, and you end up getting invited to a dead chat. You see the screenshot of where it was created, and I swear to God, you can hear the air conditioner running in the background, but there's nothing there.
Yeah, Chico and myself and what was the other guy that was in there with us? Chico,
Warsaw
Patriot.
Yeah.
We were in a chat by ourselves, but we weren't live.
Yeah.
The night one's Sunday night.
Yeah, Sunday
Learning
night.
domestic. Thanks for the invite, Scotsman. And to answer I'm not a political guy, Nathan, but I think what you're talking about is the fact that some of the retailers, some of the Chamber of Commerce people in various states around the country were tired of the unfair advantage, quote unquote, that internet providers have opposed to the brick and mortar type stores about sales tax. For a long time, you could order anything from like eBay, like Scotsman was saying, eBay or Amazon, and you wouldn't have to pay taxes on it. And so the Chamber of Commerce people from a lot of states and cities sued those type people, eBay, and they took it all the way up to court. I'm not sure if it went all the way to the Supreme Court or not, but I know they did say that it was more fair for them to charge sales tax, local sales tax in the state that you're buying it. You're in other words, if I order something off of eBay, I pay Georgia sales tax on it because I'm technically I'm buying it in the state of Georgia.
Yeah, Jamie, and I bet that those politicians were lining up to try to make sure that the state did not bring in extra sales tax renewal, money. I'm sure they were that was a huge thing for them, was to make sure that they didn't find, that they weren't finding a new way to be able to get more tax money. Yeah,
'cause that's what we all need is to pay more taxes.
exactly. Uh, yeah, exactly, Bacon. They weren't. They weren't because they didn't have to. Interstate commerce rules said that you didn't have to, and now all of a sudden, somehow or another, the states are making it so that they can impose their sales tax on companies that aren't based in this state. So technically, if you bought something in North Carolina and then your uncle picked it up for you, you would have to pay state sales tax on that. No.
Well,
I don't like this crap. But anyway, I don't want to get down that.
Here's a pretty good question. What if my county has a special purpose local option sales tax or a splosh tax
Yep.
of 1 penny or 2 pennies or whatever? So now I'm paying 8 cents on every dollar. What if I go to Cherokee County where it's still only 5? If I order it off of my phone while I'm in Cherokee County,
Yeah.
do I pay 5% or 8%?
You should. Exactly. How far does that go?
That's my question about the whole thing.
Yeah. How far does it go? If I drive to Florida, but I live here, now am I going to be paying taxes in both Florida and here?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Whatever. Anyway, I don't want to get down. Me and politics can get hairy. So anyway, Chico,
Yes,
man of the hour. So how do you like your Dylan?
I like it, man. It's a learning curve for me. I'm fairly new to reloading. Like I was telling the guys on the other chat, I said, before I jumped into reloading for the last 2 years, I've been researching and reading and studying and watching videos, tons of videos, asking questions in live chats. And when I finally came to grips with what I was gonna do, I was like, man, I'm gonna go big, man. It was it's still a process, but I'll tell anybody I'm more cautious than scared. I'm real anal about checking stuff, just every little detail, checking my powder, making sure, my bullets seated. So but I'm enjoying it, man. It's a learning curve, but I've already probably got addicted to it.
It's a lot of fun, brother. It's a lot of fun.
Definitely is
You're
fun.
right. You need to be on the cautious side. I remember when I first started reloading, I was scared to death, pull the handle down.
Yeah. I was like, do I want to do this? Like, I'm thinking about primers and I'm thinking about gunpowder and, but after doing, I probably done ran at least 800 rounds through this thing already. And it's, more confidence, but still cautious. So,
right. Yeah, that's
I wanted
the
to go with I wanted to go with a 650 when I bought my Dillon, because that was the first press I ever bought. I bought a 550. I wanted to go with a 650. I was like, nah. I just need to start out here and, just do that. And I think in the first week that I had that press, I reloaded enough 45 ACP to cover the cost of the press. Yeah. I've got ammo cans full of 45 ACP just laying around.
Man, especially when ammo got crazy during first or second Obama scare, and all of a sudden it was up to, like $40 a box for 45 ACP. It was like,
yeah, exactly.
When everybody went completely nuts because the president was a Democrat.
And everybody said I was stupid because I'd get off work and I'd go home. I'd spend about 2.5 hours watching YouTube videos and pulling on a damn blue handle. But I've got plenty of 45 ammo.
Yeah. That's something you ain't going to run out of, man. So what are you reloading there, Chico?
Right now, I'm only reloading 9mm.
Okay.
But I carry 45 sometimes, too. So that had a big impact or a big decision-making on me to get into reloading. So, as you guys know, 45, it's not the cheapest thing to shoot, So, I do have 45 dies for my Dillon. I got those on the super deal. But as far as now, I'm just reloading 9mm, and I'm trying to get good at it. You know what I mean? As far as making sure I'm doing everything right, and so far I'm doing good with the 9mm. But I know it's some debate on that. A lot of people say, I wouldn't load 9mm because of this and because of that. So I'm just like, hey, I shoot a ton of 9mm. So instead of me buying it in bulk and going to the store, I was like, maybe I can reload this and just shoot more. It's because I didn't look into it to save money, just to shoot more. Because every time I go to the range, it's like, Man, I should have brought more ammo.
I'm glad you said that, because being a reloader, you ain't saving no money at all. You're just shooting more.
Just shoot more, right? So, you know, I recently went to a local gun. I do a lot of shopping online because I'm a deal seeker. So if you guys watch any of my videos, but I recently try to do business with a lot of local gun shops so they can get familiar with me, especially if it takes some time for me to get something online. You know, it's normally a delay in time. So I went to a local gun shop here and picked up this manual. This is the Lee Richard Lee manual. So, and I have the Hornady, the 10th edition. This is the 2nd edition, and it's got some interesting information in here, man. I mean, a lot of helpful information.
Yeah,
so,
it's always good to have at least 2 different reloading manuals.
Yeah, so you know, like I said, the local gun shop here out here in the county where I stay in Cobb. So, you know, I kind of was like, let me do some business with this store so that they'll get familiar with me. But this store does a lot of black powder, and it was like, we got some black powder stuff. I said, man, I just got into reloading. You trying to throw too much on me already?
Yeah, like what am I gonna do with that? Like,
right.
make a lot of smoke and.
I'm like, man, I'll let you guys in like 5 years probably on that, you know. But so far, I'm enjoying it, man. The process and just learning and a lot, especially on YouTube and other platforms, the support that people have given me. Say, hey, you need any help? Like Kyle and Jamie, you know, and people in the side chat, Willie, the Scotsman. It's a lot of people, man. And so if I didn't mention you guys, I apologize. But it's a lot of people that's helped me on my videos and say, hey, whenever you need this, you can hit me up. You know, you can email me or whatnot. So I appreciate all that help for a newbie. You know what I mean?
It is a good and very welcoming group, man. I know that some of the old timers, like some of the guys have been, like Uncle Jim's been around the internet reloading world for quite a while, right? So he's got some cool, like just interesting experiences dealing with that. I've been around it for a while, the internet side of it, but not as long as him. But what I have seen until recently is usually a lot of ugliness towards new people.
Yeah.
A lot of people that have been reloading for 70 years, that it's like, you know, unless you're running off of, you know, I mean, it's just, they're just very cliquish, very weird. But recently, the Reloaders Network and even a couple other spots, man, they have really been welcoming new people, which is, to me, it's a welcome sight, man. It's the only way that the hobby's ever going to grow. And
right.
That's what I want to do. So when I make videos, I'm usually making videos for beginners. But yeah, it is a hell of a hobby and a hell of a thing to get into. And making 9mm, dude, if you shoot 9mm, that's what you shoot. Like
Right.
Rob shoots 9mm, that's what he does. And he doesn't load for 9mm because he says he can get it cheaper than that. Well, I suggest that you have a better relationship with your ammo. You know what's in yours.
Right.
And you are buying the same type of ammo pretty much so all the time because you're the one making it. Right. Where I'm sure he's going by sales, probably stuff like that. So I'm all for it, man. If that's your thing, like stick with it. There ain't nothing wrong with it. Loading for 45s is maybe even a little bit more weird than 9mm. Because 45 chambers, some of them are pretty tight, and they, you know, the way that they headspace on the mouth like that, depending on what bullet you're using, it can get a little funky.
Cool, man. Yeah, I'll definitely be asking some questions on here and the Reloaders Network and a lot of the other guys that I've, like I said, before I even made my decision, I was on people's videos like definitely like the Reloader dude and some of the other big guys on YouTube, and I was asking questions and I get a response back, and I was like, dang, that's cool. He responded back to me. You know what I mean? I was like, well, shit, well, maybe I can get a little help from the internet, you know? So, one thing about it, I'm never afraid to ask questions, you know, because I'm either like somebody's going to help or they're not. If not, you know, I try to get multiple sources, but I still do my own research because for me, that's the safety and, you know, so that I'll get a gist of everything.
Oh man, I've heard some serious junk on the internet.
Yeah.
Like, when it comes to reloading, I've heard some stuff, especially if you get on some of the Facebook groups. Yeah. I've heard some stuff that's just like straight up like, oh Jesus, like how are you not like, you're gonna hurt yourself, you know. And if you say that, a lot of times you get blasted.
Yeah.
They're like, you could use that Magnum powder in this, and I'm like, all right, man, knock it out. I've been doing this shit for a while.
Yeah.
I'll stand over here.
Yeah, I'll stand over here. Exactly.
Here's one thing that I found weird. Uncle Jim was talking about Lyman reloading books. I've got the 49th, and I've got the newest 50th. Okay. One thing that I love about the 49th is this area in the back with a reloading log. There's pages and pages and pages for you to put notes and stuff in here. Of course, I've just decided to start writing on the covers instead of using the pages. But in the 50th, there's nothing. It stops right there. There's your powder burn chart, and then it's the back cover. There's no chart in there, and I thought that was really weird because I was like, hell yeah, I get the newest Lyman book. It's, you know, all these different loads and new powders and this, that, and the other. It's the same stuff. They just took out the notebook.
Well, I think the notebook thing, I think Lyman is now selling a reloader's log. So.
Well, I just started writing notebooks. So
Yeah.
Now this right here is the Hodgdon powder. Every powder that they make. I found this in a gas station on the magazine rack.
That is a magazine, right? But it has the information in it.
Yep.
Yeah, I seen that.
And you can, a lot of times, if you order like 2 pounds of powder from Hodgson, they'll send you it free.
Oh, wow.
Well, I didn't know that, or I wouldn't have paid $8 for it.
Yeah, I think it's 2 pounds.
Mid-South Shooting Supply sells those too for I think it's like $8 or $9.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
you don't
it's
really
really
need.
good. There's a lot of really good loads, and there's a bunch of loads in this Hodgson book that aren't in the Lyman book or the Hornady book. I've got the Hornady 10th edition, like Chico's got. I've got it in the basement, and that's a great book to have if you load Hornady bullets, because there's a lot of Hornady specific information in that book.
It is. Yep. That's the one I started with too. You know.
Yep, that's a great book right there.
Another thing you can do, Chico, is go to the powder manufacturers' websites. Most all of them have really up-to-date data there.
Online, right? Yeah, and see how
Yes.
that to me is convenient online, but for me, I guess just the nature of me, I always like to have a hard copy, because say my iPad dies, or or sometimes I'm trying to use less electronics as far as computer time or whatnot. Sometimes like I'll go to sleep with this thing on my chest, just like, and I only load one caliber that's in here, but I'm still just going through, reading stuff, reading history on it, reading the different information they have on it. So that's why I went and got this one, and this was the only one they had in the store at this, and it was an older gun shop out here in Cobb County. So
that is a great way to be, and I'll be honest with you, that's why I have. Oh, look, it's a dial. It's not digital. I've got digital ones. And I've got balance beam scales instead of digital scales. I don't. This is the kind of stuff that when I do it, I don't want to have to depend on technology.
Yeah.
Or if my cell phone breaks or whatever, I can't get load data. No, I got plenty of load data. And that of course, like everybody else, I started out with digital calipers, which I didn't have to. I've got 3 or 4 sets of these in my toolbox, micrometers and everything else. I bought the books just because, what happens if they decide to ban reloading information from the internet? I remember that scare going around, whatever. So I bought a couple of reloading books.
What if they start charging for it? What if they start charging for it?
Exactly. Well, I keep all the, the pieces of paper that like come in your Lee die sets. They've got a lot of your major powder loading data already there. So don't ever throw that stuff away. I've got all kinds of Lee powder charts and all that, and I've got the Lee Dipper kit, which has a very good, although the volumes aren't correct for the size of the dipper, so you still have to weigh it, but it gives you good load data for most of your powders. So,
my favorite internet load data story. There was a guy that I was trying to help online on a Facebook group, and he was having what he noticed. He was loading, and he had a lead loadmaster, and he was looking. And he was like, "My powder charges seem to be different." And he was measuring. What he was doing was he wasn't using the Lee powder throw. He was using a funnel. So he was hand dipping and then weighing every load and then using that thing. And he noticed they were different. He couldn't figure out why. And what it turned out is he had his computer sitting right next to his balance beam scale because he had his load data on his computer. And the damn magnets and all the mess and all the electronics on the computer was throwing the scale into a fit. And he had no idea that it was doing it. And I'm just like, there's a good reason why you stick with paper. It ain't going to hurt you. I mean, I guess it could get static, but, nowhere near as bad as the computer sitting there.
Yeah.
That, you remember a couple of 3 weeks ago, I was telling y'all about going to the reloading class at down in Smyrna.
Yes, sir.
You remember I told you there was a Hornady guy there, and he brought that little small Hornady electronic scale to do some reloading with, and he couldn't make that thing work for diddly squat. And he told us that same story that you just told us, Nathan. He was a guy had one and couldn't make it work. Had sent it in 3 times to have it fixed, and they couldn't find a problem with it. And turned out it was what he said was as a train would go by, and the whole house would rumble and cause his digital scale to go crazy.
Huh.
There's little Chico. Hey, buddy.
Say hello.
Hello.
Say hey, Mr. Jamie.
Hey,
Hold on.
how are you?
He's getting me to download some stuff. Look. So I said, to keep him away a little bit, to keep him occupied. He's got his own little tablet. All right.
There you go.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Don't you love kids? You gotta love kids.
Hey, look, he knows when to get me. That's the thing about it. He knows when I'm down here, and he comes down with the iPad for me to download something. He like, here you go, because I know you're gonna do it. So I'm like, yeah,
he got you figured out.
oh, he does, man, he does. So he heard me downstairs. He was like, download Nick Jr. I was like, all right.
What's his name, Chico?
Carter.
I should remember that. I'm sorry I didn't.
No problem, man.
He's the cutest little thing.
We're all gonna need to get Chico, me, you, and Jamie need to get together and eat lunch one day or something.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we're going to do that tomorrow, aren't we?
Yes, I'm all for that.
Where at?
The varsity.
At the town center.
Yeah.
What time?
Man, just rubbing it in, aren't you?
Come on, Nathan. It's only about 3 hours up the highway.
I'll take 2 dogs walking. I ain't scared.
I like those.
Nope, I'm not downloading more anymore.
I like those orange frosted things.
Oh yeah, frosted orange. Heck yeah.
Yeah, man, and the onion rings. But if you're going to eat those onion rings, you got to have one of those orange frosted, or you're going to be burning up later. Man.
Varsity orange, yes.
That's the only thing that'll wash that grease out of your mouth too. I love it. What time y'all hooking up? I'll do everything I can do to swing by.
Don't worry about it. I'm gonna come by your house and pick you up.
Well, I need to know what time.
That way he can have his hair done.
Yeah, never mind. I ain't going there. What time's good for you, Chico?
Anytime after 11. Hopefully that's not too late for you guys.
No, man. I was thinking more like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
Okay,
what about
sweet.
you?
Yeah.
Can you make that work? Kyle?
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Yeah. Just I got a couple things to take care of in the morning. Should give me plenty of time. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I definitely do, man. So I work Monday through Friday. So my weekend, okay, look, I'm talking. I'm not downloading anything else. Go on. No more downloading. That's right. My bad. I work Monday through Friday. So on the weekends when I get a lot of side work, and that's how I supply or support my hobby, buying stuff. You know what I mean? Like 650s and brass and bullets and stuff like that. It all comes in handy. You know, I'm a mechanic, so that's a lot of side work comes along the way. I'm sure Kyle's familiar with that.
So you already had the measuring tools too.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. So, but I still had to buy some because I didn't want to bring them from work, So I bought my own strictly for reloading rather.
Yeah. Measuring greens, talking about his dad reloading. That's a pretty funny kind of story there. He wasn't there, but said something about basically they were getting the idea behind grains and grams mixed up.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, man, if you're dicking with an electric scale where you can actually set something to grams, I mean, can you imagine the kaboom you could make?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that would just be, woo, boy.
Make Tanya right jealous, wouldn't it?
Oh, yes, sir. I guess talking about the old tool or making use of old tools. Today I had this class, right? It was really, really long. I don't know if you guys know anything about this or heard about this thing called Six Sigma. It's like a thing. Anyway, and they were talking about like quality control and tolerances. And they were talking about how certain things, your tolerances that you have to be right on. And I brought up, I said, listen, I said something that I think is interesting. We were talking about is Toyota. Toyota, when they grind their crankshafts, they do it to this huge tolerance, like something that in America would just be no good. And then what they did was they actually coated their bearings that were improperly sized. So their bearings would be like plus or minus like, 3/4, thousandths or something like that, a thousandth and a half. And they color code the bearings to say this one's a little too big, this one's a little too small, and then they match it with the improperly machined crankshaft. You still end up with the exact same tolerance as far as your actual clearance, but your manufacturing tolerances are all over the place. And it was like, leave that to Japanese industry to figure that out. But yeah, unfortunately, we don't have any kind of thing like that with reloading. It's like it's got to be what it is.
Yeah.
Or no good.
Hey, Nathan Thomas wants to go with us tomorrow, and I've got this baby birthday party. You think you can pick him up on the way?
Man, I can't pick up nobody tomorrow, man. Unfortunately, I'm just tomorrow. I get to. This is the first thing I'm going to do in the morning is I'm actually going to do most of the TRN weekly recap so that it's done. So I'm not waiting to do it on Sunday. Then I'm going to most likely start tearing the kitchen all apart. Then Catherine and I have some stuff we're doing, and that's going to take pretty much the rest of the day. Then Sunday, I want to finish the Reloaders recap, tear the whole kitchen apart, and then put it all back together and clean everything. And I've got to do the yard
remodeling going on for the whole state.
No, I'm not doing remodeling, brother. It's just I have a thing where at least once a year I got to pull everything out of a room and completely do it. Like clean everything, and it's time, and it's bothering me. So it's like I'm getting a little bit twitchy over it. So it's time. But
he's just in. He's on the south end of his town. If you can pick him up, he's in Alberta, Canada.
Yeah, that's a little bit out of the way. I mean, a little bit, right? There's this turn to make by Albuquerque.
Should have took a left at Albuquerque.
Yeah.
What's that Charlie Daniels song? Next time I go, I'm going by Omaha.
Yeah. No, Curtis, no more carpentry for me for a while until I actually finish my direct.
What? You want me to take that iPad? Go back upstairs. Thank you.
Yeah, you need a nap, AA. 40 hours in 3 days will make you crazy.
1 gram equals 15 grains. I never knew that. Yeah, that could be a kaboom.
It's not exactly 15 grains, but it's closer to 15 than it is 14. I remember that. It's 14 point blah 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 blah. If I can remember correctly.
Yeah, I
Eagle
think you're
showed
correct.
up. Y'all say hey to Kenny.
Hey, Eagle, how's it going, man? Curtis, I appreciate it, brother. I know it's painful, man. I know it's painful, but dude, to me, that's how I grow, dude. I just jump into crap, and I know it's painful to watch sometimes, but I appreciate the offer, man.
At least you got really good music while we're watching you screw up. That's cool.
Yeah, exactly. But hey,
that's what I told Full Ed Taco. The only reason I watch your videos is because of the music.
Fair enough.
Give me just a second. Let me go check on the boys. Hang on.
I thought that too till I watched this video today.
I didn't watch anything today, so
You didn't watch Taco's video today? Y'all don't beat me up too bad, but I'm just not a rap fan. I'm sorry.
Oh, what depends on the rap? I'm old though, right?
570.
Like I'm old, so my thing is like if it was made before like 2003, most likely I'm good. Like after 2003, then it's getting real hit and miss. Taco rap, nice, well done, Curtis.
It's
good pun.
45-7T.
Yeah,
that'd be 45. 40, I believe. 45. That's the proper pronunciation there. Oh man, yeah, Armin, I bet you are tired, brother. Yeah, you guys had there was a late night last night. I didn't know about this. Like, and Willie sent me or called me because he had a question about live chats. And I wasn't able to get to the phone, so I didn't know there was anything going on. Even though I saw some things about people like toying with the idea. It's like, well, we might do a chat, we might not, we don't know. And I just like, it's bedtime for me. So I missed everything last night. So stopped raining yesterday. You got to mow. Vanessa, I am begging the rain to hold off long enough to trim my bushes. The hedges outside have I mean, like, it's only been like a month, and they've just gotten huge. So yard work is really high on the priority list this weekend.
Yeah, me too, man. I got a buddy of mine who's not at home right now, so I've been trying to keep his house up, and his yard's like knee high. Well,
yeah,
it rained for almost 2 weeks, and then the sun come out, and it grew a foot in one day.
Yep. Yes, it did.
My dad battles with that really bad because he does his and he does my grandmother's, and he battles with trying to keep them both down, and they come to seed so fast down here, man. You know.
Yeah, y'all got that sandy type soil too, don't you?
Yeah. I can if I keep mine mowed, like really keep it mowed meticulously, it does pretty well. Now, if I go where I'm missing a week here and there, next thing you know, you're gonna start getting crabgrass, and it's just terrible. So you got to keep after it, or it gets crazy. Because that sandy soil, man, that stuff grows like a weed. Trim that bush, yes sir. Well, which bush? This one. This one.
He's talking about.
Not too bad.
He's talking about Kyle, like.
Wait, what?
Like he talking about Kyle, because I seen that live chat this morning on my way to work, and I was guys, I was like, man, I missed it. I was out whenever the notification went out.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Scotsman sent me a link, and I answered. I thought it was calling me. I answered the phone, and I was on a what do you call it? A hangout.
Yeah.
We weren't live, and I'm in the bed, and I'm like, hello? I thought it was a phone call, and he sees me, and he's like, you already in the bed? And I'm like, well, yeah, it's like nearly 11 o'clock here. So, but this week has been weird. He made a crack on me last night, Scotsman did. Said, this becoming an every night thing for you, ain't it, Jamie? I'm like, well, mine as well, man. It ain't like I can sleep anyway. I've been having the roughest time sleeping this week.
Okay. Sorry to hear that. That sucks. I like my sleep. Otherwise, I become cranky,
Like Cletus.
like Cletus. Which
Hey,
I'm glad you can make it, man. MCK, glad you can make it, brother. Curtis, William C. Chapin, Uncle Jim, Crazy Scotsman, Vanessa Kitty, glad you're here. Who else? We got Armament Axes, PC Bullet Empires, Tim. Glad you can make it. Kenny, Eagle Eye Shootings in the chat. And we got tons of other people here. Measuring Grains. Man, I got so much catching up to do. I think you did a video that I'm really chomping at the bit to get some time to watch. I will hopefully be watching that tomorrow morning so that I can report on it. Who else we got here? Willie Bullet Man, glad you can make it. I'm glad everything's kind of working out, Willie. I'm glad your things are going better, buddy, because, man, I hate to hear somebody being in the hospital. It's just, yeah. Thomas Pickering, going to Cobb County by the way of Canada. Man, why would I go eat breakfast? Never mind. I like Canada.
Cracker
There's
Barrel,
got to
man.
be
Cracker
really
Barrel.
good food. And we see some Cracker Barrel, man. What? Yeah. Who
Hey,
else?
it's the same exit.
Same exit. Ain't it? Exit 3. Loads of bacon. Glad to see you, man. OP25 TTFD. Shane, thanks for coming out. I hope everything goes well tonight. We talked about that a little bit earlier. Who am I missing, guys? Who am I missing?
Oh, there's no telling.
Big Al was in here earlier. I haven't seen him in a little bit, but I do appreciate him showing up. Crazy Scotsman, if I didn't mention it, who's, guys, I don't say this enough, but Crazy Scotsman is everywhere. Like, if you want to go, if you've thought about maybe checking out some of his videos, please do. Go check out his channel, subscribe to it. Communicate and interact with him. He is always in everybody's chat. He's always helping out. Not to mention the fundraising stuff that he does and his own work. I mean, this is a guy doing his own work. He works too much outside of working on YouTube, and he helps everybody in the whole community out. So go give him some love, give him some scribbles and some likes.
Yeah, we all have the utmost respect.
Yes, sir.
We all have the utmost respect for the Scotsman, but I got a question or two for Chico.
Yes, sir.
You been quiet over there, brother.
I'm reading the side chat.
Oh,
Sure I don't miss anything.
are you catching all that?
Yeah.
How can you read that fast?
My question is, I know you do 9mm mostly, and that can be a fairly persnickety round, as we've had discussions on this live chat about 9mm before. I think it mainly stems from the variances in the chambers of a lot of our pistols, and the fact that it's a slightly tapered case that you can't really see the taper on it. But and I know you've said that you want to get into 45 next. What rifle cartridges are you looking at, if any?
Yeah, I definitely am. Well, so really the only rifle. Well, no, I have two rifles, but so I've got a 5.56, which is an AR. You know, I got a few of them, and I do have a AK, a 7.62 by 39. And you know what? I'm glad you said that, because how could I forget? When I went to that reloading store, the little small one in town, I picked up this. Can y'all see that? So, I mean, it was $5. And I think at Cabela's, these things are like $8. So
Right.
the gun store up here is Deer Creek Gun Shop, and it's like I said, they do a lot of black powder, but the people in general was real welcoming also. They was like, because I was like, look, I'm a new reloader, haven't been doing it that long. Since I drove up here, I'd rather, I'll spend my money with you guys. So I'm looking for any manuals that you may have. And they was like, yeah, I got stuff. Just go over there, pass the black powder. I was like, okay, I guess, So, but I plan on doing 5.56 eventually, and the 7.62 by 39. And I plan on getting some, probably some different calibers in rifle. I do like lever guns. So I believe my next big rifle purchase probably is going to be a lever action, something big. I was thinking 38 357. but I kind of like lever guns. I do have a little 22 Henry, but I'm nowhere in the world I'm gonna load 22. Obviously, I got 10,000 rounds, a 2 cent a round or something. No way I'll do that at all. But yeah, the 9mm, I've heard about the tapered cases, and I'm always like I have to see it to believe it sometimes, even though I know the information is there and people will say it. So when I measure the 9mm case at the very bottom, I'm getting like 389 thousandths. But if you measure at the top, I got 377 on this particular case that I had one just sitting. I don't even know why I was sitting to the side. So it is a tapered case. But you, like you said, you barely can see that taper, if at all.
Right, you got to measure it, yeah.
You got to measure it to see it, or to see the difference in it. So, but I'm still, I'll be asking questions when I start doing 45. I just, I end up getting some 45 dies for that were dealing, at a good price, and some of them new, some of them, I think one of them were used. A set that I got, a conversion kit, and then a set of dies. So, I try to shop around, find the best deals, and I think another thing with the dealing, their warranty kind of sold me also. So a lot of people ask how come I went straight to the dealing or the 650. I was like, their warranty stuff kind of, I read and looked on it, and
yeah, you can break that some bitch in half with a tractor, and they'll give you a new one.
Yeah, so I was just like,
Kyle, I gotta ask, brother. Are you eating pistachios?
I am. Get to cracking.
I know. Everybody else knows.
I do.
You kill me, brother. You kill me.
Okay. So for my next question, Chico, I said I had a couple.
Yeah. No problem.
What are your favorite powders so far?
So the only thing, I'll be honest, I've got 4 different powders, but the only thing I have loaded is the CFE pistol, because that was the first thing I poured in my hopper. And
that's good powder. I've had real good luck with it.
I've got the CFE pistol. I've got I brought the Ultimate. Is it Ultimate from the Shooter's World?
Uh-oh. Everybody's doing a powder check.
Give me. I'll be right back. Sorry.
Yeah, everybody starts reaching for
powder already, right? But so everyone knows what the CFE pistol looks like, but I bought this at a local gun show here, and the guy swore by it, and I was just like, okay, and I looked it up.
Jamie's used that, I think.
I've used the heavy pistol, but not the ultimate. I got that one on my list.
Oh, okay.
So
the heavy pistols for bigger bore stuff like 44 Magnum and 357 Magnum. That's a good one too.
I believe this is the very first one I bought. And
HP 38's really good powder.
And I got tight groove.
Oh, hell yeah, brother. Hang on, wait for it.
Wait.
God, hell, I took all my gunpowders and put them where they go.
Look at you putting stuff away.
I know, right? That doesn't happen.
So, but this is what I have in my hopper right now, and I'm probably gonna run the little bit I have in it out and try to work on some of this other stuff, because the next time I go to the range, I'm making sure that I won't put a bullet in my next chrono.
Hey, did you call Caldwell by chance?
I called them, and they said they would email me. When I called them, it was on a Friday, and the guy was like, everybody in our warehouse is gone. He said, but we have parts laying around. So I was like, okay. So I was like, I basically told him,
I don't need parts. I need a damn chronograph.
I was like, look, man, you can get me the, because really all I need, when I open this up, and the front sensor appeared to be damaged and the rear sensor. But besides the hole that's in the front, And,
Nathan, did you not see that video?
No, sir, I did not. That's great. You shot that bitch
in my display. So, but I can use it without the display because I assume because the one I bought has the app, so you can hook it to your phone. I can use my phone as a display. But what I think I'm gonna do next, I'm gonna put some kind of protective plate up in front of it. And I probably won't be the 15 yards that's recommended. I'll probably be more like 5 yards.
Yeah, it says. Yeah, that's one of the things I noticed about that video. It seemed like your chrono was too far out there. And if you're going to put a plate up, it needs to be AR 500 steel.
Yeah. So, but you know what? When I seen you guys' video where Kyle shot his, I was like, I was not even that close, and I got like 8 loads that came out before I switched to that factory round, and I was just like,
man, it happens quicker than you think, man. And I'm pretty sure that your shoulders dropped at about the same rate that mine did. Like,
I was just like, man, you know. So, but
Jamie did make me feel a little bit better. He goes, you know what, Kyle? Yes, you nicked yours with a 44 Magnum, but yet one does not slightly nick anything with a 44 Magnum. He said Chico went full bore.
Straight through it, man.
Dead nut center.
It went. I was like, man. So if you guys haven't seen my video, I'll comment in a side check. Y'all can go check out my video. It says Chico shoots his chrono, and I was just like, okay.
That was a great video, man. Hey, where is that range?
That range is in Temple. It's like an hour away from me. So
okay, I knew it wasn't in your county.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I got you. You almost in Alabama at that point.
Yeah. It's like 45 minutes away, but it was cool. You know, it was 2 guys there, and they just so happened to be from my same county. And it was like, oh man, that sucks. I was like, yeah, it's okay. So
everybody, range goes cold. Chico needs to go get his chrono.
Yeah, you can hear the guy. He said, what? He was like, he needs to go get his chrono. Put a bullet
he
straight
just shot
through
the
it.
hell out of his chrono, man. Let him go get it.
Hey, you don't even need to get it at that point. You just drag it by the cord. Just pull it over, just drag it back. It's a dead one.
Hope it don't come off the tripod before you get it back to the bench.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
so
I got tackled.
I tell you what, Chico, it made me feel really great when I found out that you shot yours too.
You know, last night I had a notification that somebody shot theirs, and they responded on who was it? And I went to sleep before I clicked on his. I'm gonna have to research it. The guy said, man, it's something just like when I shot my chrono. And I was like, hold up, I need to go find out who did it after me, so I won't be the rookie no more. So somebody can have that title for a minute. But yeah, mine went, man. If y'all watch that video, I was just like,
hey, you killed the hell out of it. I mean, it dropped.
And then a while ago when he's describing it, Kyle says, well, what you need is a new chronograph. He's like, no, man, I took it apart and
the sensors. All I need is the sensors, man.
It damaged the front and it damaged the back sensor. And then Kyle's like, well, yeah, no, you need a new chrono. You killed that one, buddy.
You dead centered that bastard.
And what got me about the video is he shows the display with a big 9mm hole in it, and then turns it around, shows him the back, and I'm like, man, that was a straight true shot right there.
It was.
We got to give it to him. He's got marksmanship.
He does. He's going to fit in this bunch real good.
So I'll definitely try it again, but next time I'll be closer, because like I said, when I seen Kyle's video, he was a lot closer. I was way off, and I was like, well, you know, the instructions, you know, the people always say set it up at this distance, and I was like, but I've heard if you're too close, the muzzle blast or the muzzle flash could give you inaccurate readings. So I was like, yeah.
They want you to go about 5 yards, if that. I think we were doing about 10 feet, Jamie? 8 feet, something like that.
Yeah, we had it closer than we should have, but what my book says is 8 to 10 feet, and I got that book around.
Johnny's reloading bench says you ought to try shooting the camera.
Yeah. Someone that Willie said that CFE is dirty, which I find surprising considering it's supposed to be like a copper fouling erasing powder. I would think it would be pretty clean. I just recently bought some, and I'm
Exactly what it says. Great, sir.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm loading it in. I'm loading it for my 32 mag. So
Well, let's ask the man that's using it, Chico. What'd you find with
yeah,
it?
that's what I was gonna. That's what I was.
Well, I've shot it. When I went to the range, I went through about 100 rounds, and it didn't seem that bad. I did clean one of my pistols, my carry pistol, after I shot it, and it wasn't that bad. But then again, it was a super clean pistol before I went to the range. I try to, my carry gun's gonna always stay clean.
Do you,
Right.
Chico? Do you shoot when you shoot handguns? Are you shooting on top over top of a bench, or are you just shooting on plain ground?
I'm normally over on top of a bench, so I'm, because most of the ranges here are indoors in the county where I'm at. So,
Did you notice a lot of powder residue on that bench after you were done shooting? You may not have noticed, but I mean,
I didn't, because I always put my hand right there. But the benches where I'm at, where I normally shoot, they have like a carpet,
mhm.
a little felt or something. I didn't notice one.
Well, I'll tell you this, man. If you shoot, like, it depends on the load, all right. But most cases, like, you shoot some like unique or something, there's gonna be powder residue like laying around. So, 4227, things like that. So to me, when I hear of a dirty powder, that's what I'm thinking of. And I was like, man, I don't want that powder rolling out down the damn barrel thing. But it sounds like it's not what it's. That it's not that bad anyway.
Right.
At least hasn't been for you.
That's why I picked this one first. Even though this is like the last one I bought, but this was the first one that I loaded. Probably because the load data. But you know what? What's interesting, and I said that in one of my videos. So I was, when I first got it, I was using this book to load this CFE, and this CFE powder was in here. But when I went online to Hodgins site, it was some discrepancies in the loads for the same grain bullet. It was like start off at 4.2, and the other one's like start off at 4.9. I was like, hold up, what's up with that?
Yeah, I remember that video. That seems like way too big a jump.
Right. I still started off what the book said, which was 4.2, but online manuals like start off at 4.7 or 4.9. I was like, nah, we're not gonna do that. I'm just starting off. So I kind of worked my way up. I shot that 4.2, I shot that 4.5, 4.7, but I like the 4.9 better. So maybe this book was a little outdated compared to online was more recent. So
I think that's what it is. The online information that you can get, especially straight from the powder manufacturers, the most updated stuff they have, and you don't know when they grab the information they put in that book.
Right, correct. I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter about the copyright or nothing, because it can be old information that they had. But it seemed like to me for this load I was loading 124 grain Barry's bullets. The 4.9 load seemed more accurate, or my groupings were tighter. Let's say that my groupings were tighter compared to the 4.2 or even the 4.5, and I was like, "Ooh, I think I like this one." You know what I mean? I started seeing groupings like
it feels better, it groups better. Yeah,
I was like, "Oh yeah, I think I like the 4.9." So I've been churning them out in 4.9 so far. So
you also need to try Alliant Power Pistol. That's a good powder too. It's really clean. I was actually amazed at how clean it was. I blew through about 8 pounds of it.
wow.
And it was just really good powder. I came across a deal on an 8-pound jug, so I just started loading with nothing but it for a 9mm 40, and it worked great.
I've got some of that powder pistol, but I haven't loaded anything with it. I want to try it in 40 Smith & Wesson and then 45 ACP.
Oh, power pistol's great.
Chico, if you're doing 9mm, man, if you ever get to 38, start loading 38 special or 357 Magnum, that seems like a breeze, man.
That is
hey, Georgia boy.
I do want to do 38 because, like I said, I don't at this time own a wheel gun, and that's probably like a sin. but I definitely wanted to get like a 357 or 38 handgun and a rifle, just because that I think that'll be something else to add to my reloading experience. And it'll be a learning curve, but everything in life is a learning curve. Hello, son. What do you need? All right, go upstairs, please. Thank you. Sorry.
I'll tell you what, brother. It has been a dream of mine to have a lever action rifle and a revolver in the same caliber that I can use the same load in each one of them and have dependable results. I don't know if that happens.
Well, you know what? Look, I need to make a confession. That was my whole thing. I'm kind of frugal, right? And I know you guys probably won't believe that by my first purchase of reloading, right?
No, buy once, try once.
Right, but I was thinking the same thing. I was like, hey, if I do 38, 357, I can use it in a rifle, a lever action gun, and I can use it in a hand wheel, a revolver. So I was just like, So that probably will be on the list after this 45 ACP.
Man, I have fired a bunch of rounds with a bunch of different powders, and what works good for the handgun, it'll work in the rifle. Is it as accurate? No. And Jamie was with me, and I'm sitting there shooting rifle rounds, getting really good groups. It's only a 25-yard range, but getting really good groups. I mean, like tearing the same hole. Then I run that thing through the pistol and can't hit this piece of paper twice. I'm like, what the hell?
My issue is that the Henry won't feed the rounds that I've developed for my revolver. I developed a Keith load for my revolver, and that Henry will not feed Keith bullets unless I deep seed them. No. I mean, listen. If I talk to somebody, usually I'm gonna do this by myself without a whole crowd. But if I'm talking to somebody, and they're asking me about their reloader and a caster, and they're asking me about a Henry, a Marlin, or a Rossi, I'm gonna turn them away from the Henry. Because
really?
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you that their overall length is so narrow. They for especially a 45 Colt, but I've heard they had a problem with the 44 mag too. That their overall length has to be super short. If you have any kind of bullet with a nose, it won't feed them, and that will drive you nuts. I mean, if you would like to shoot, I know some guys like to shoot heavy bullets and their lever guns, and it's not going to shoot them. It's not going to feed them.
Well, mine's ate everything I put in it, and Ruger Red Hawk wouldn't feed them.
What do you mean the Red Hawk wouldn't feed them?
They wouldn't fit in the chamber of the Red Hawk.
Oh, sorry, guys. Give me just a second.
Yeah. What do you mean? I mean, there's different ways that something's not going to fit in a chamber. What are you talking about?
I'm sorry. That's why I got the Lee factory crimp die for the 44 Magnum, is because it would put the bullets that I'm using, even sizing them 432, 431, or whatever. These are, that one's gone. They're really big bullets. They're 280 grains or something like that. But they're a flat nose bullet. They're big. They're NOE. And the Ruger wouldn't take it.
Nathan, the bullet, the rim of the case was still sticking up like a quarter of an inch at the back of the chamber.
Once the bullet got to the chamber throat, it wasn't going no further.
Yeah, man. That's what I mean. My thing though, my problem has been, and I've heard this from other people. In fact, I think it was Curtis who just said that the 429, 421, which is your Keith bullet, has a problem with most 44 mag rifles, and then Bacon's like my Rossi 92 eats them up. That's been what I've been hearing. I've been doing some research, or was doing some research into SAS stuff. The Rossi 92s eat that stuff up. They're fine with it. They're yeah, whatever, I don't care. Where a lot of these other ones, man, especially the Henrys and stuff like that, they just won't. They have a really, 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 really tight overall length requirement.
It was the second or third time that me and Jamie went to the range. I was really looking forward to testing some of these in the Ruger Red Hawk, and they wouldn't go in. I'm like, what the hell? I put them right in the Henry and chomp, chomp, chomp. It went to town.
Yeah, mine certainly won't. Like I went and bought a round nose bullet for it, hoping that was going to make it all. You know, there was a little bit shorter of a nose bullet, and I still had to deep seat that.
Huh.
And I mean, it wasn't deep seat's a strong word. I had to get right at the very, 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 very top of the crimp groove. I mean, it had to be as deep as humanly possible and still hit the crimp groove, and then it would feed. But
Man,
it was
you got me
Nat's hair.
worried about these Keith hollow points that I just
Dude,
got.
I'm serious. If you're wanting to load for a lever action, load up a dummy round before you do what I did. I loaded up 100 or 200 loads for my rifle that were specifically for my rifle. I was going to do some load development, and it wouldn't feed any of them. Because I didn't load up a dummy round because I didn't think that the overall length was going to be a problem because I mean, the Keith bullet has been around since, you know, for a long time, and I expected it to feed it, and it didn't.
Well, I mean, I've got the NOE mold where you can make 3 different size hollow points or flat-nosed Keith-style shaped bullets.
Yeah.
And I haven't made any flat-nosed ones yet because I want to play with the hollow points. And thanks to Loads of Bacon, Full Lead Taco, and everybody else that's commented on that video, I figured out what I was doing wrong. You can't be in a hurry. And I was.
Ain't that the truth,
but,
brother?
You know, I can fix that next time. It ain't no big deal. But do I want to go through all the drama of powder coating them, sizing them, and doing all this? Or do I just need to take one, load it up, see if it'll fit?
Yeah, I would definitely do a dummy round before I did anything, just to make sure that it's going to fit. You know, that it's going to feed it.
Right. I hear you.
Because I mean, I've actually taken to doing that with my revolvers now, because I ran into a problem with my mom's Taurus where it's kind of what you were talking about. It's actually it's the chamber's a little too tight, is what it is. The chamber's a little too tight to get the bullet size up where it needs to be. It'll fit in the chamber fine, but anytime you start to get a little bit of residue or any kind of buildup, it didn't want to chamber the round all the way. So you kind of had to pain in the butt.
Can I tell you guys a newbie experience? So you guys talking about dummy rounds. So like I said, I'm new. You know, that's no surprise to any of you guys on here. So when I first started loading, I loaded up like 15 dummy rounds. But then again, I was checking my overall length, and I was just like, look, I mean, I had all of them probably 0.02 of an inch off, and I loaded up 15. And when I finally got my correct length, I just kept 5 of them. You know what I mean? I kind of just like a newbie, I guess somehow put away or something. But I was just like, man, I'm probably way overboard, because I heard you say, hey, I loaded up 1 dummy round. I was like, did I load up 15 of them? Should I tell
The only advice that I can give you when you're setting up dies or changing calibers to something that you like with a Dillon, you don't have to worry about, just change a tool head. So you set it and forget it. Kind of like the Roscoe little
oven thing, yeah.
But when you're doing it, always, and I'm the world's worst about it too, back that seat and stem all the way the hell out where it's just barely sitting there, where you run the press arm down, and all it does is make the bullet go, eep, and that's it. Then you can start dialing it in, because I can't tell you how many I've rammed all the way to the primer.
I probably did one like that. I didn't take it all the way to the primer, but it was definitely low. And like I said, I think the main maybe why I did it, because I'm shooting semi-automatic, so I wanted to make sure they cycled in a few magazines and a few different guns. So you know, luckily I lucked up.
I've got several 9mm, and they all feed my rounds. They just eat them.
Yeah, I didn't have any problems at the range when I shot it, and I've took my reloads to 2 different ranges. And
there you go. That's what you're looking for.
You know, I got another newbie, and I don't know how many people's in the side chat, but I'm confused on the 45. You know, small primer, big primer. You know, because I know that's some debate on, hey, you want to go small primer, big primer? I'm like, well, I don't know. You know,
no debate. If you want accuracy, go with that small primer. No debate necessary.
Yeah, and I just knew you was gonna say big primer, because
no,
I was just like, I've seen so many different issue or so many different opinions on the topic.
Oh, all you need in primer is enough to ignite the powder. Anything more than that causes inconsistencies.
See that?
Small primer.
Small primer 45.
I'm going with the P, but that's what I'm talking about. Reload.
I've got it.
Reload.
I mean, it sucks because especially on a Dillon, you don't know it until you're in the middle of loading, and then shit. Now I got to empty the whole damn.
And I heard that.
And all that, before you can continue going. So you just got to finish up pull the handle 3 more times and be done with it.
You just sort them beforehand, man. Get those all 40. Get those large pistol primer cases. Get them together. Send them to your friends as presents and gifts and whatever. And hoard those small pistol primer ones because they're better.
And see, I've heard that because just like some of my carry ammo for my 45, some of it's got large primer, some of it's got small primer, and I'm just like. So when I started looking into it, I was like, man, I gotta ask these questions anytime I get on these chats, man. Let me see if anybody done said something.
Now, Nathan, I'm probably fixing to really kind of tick you off.
No, sir. I highly doubt that.
I mean, that's not my intent.
He said, "I'm worried you're gonna
So
my ass."
You say pre-sorted, huh?
Yeah. That's what I do.
Drive your ass over here and help me pre-sort this shit.
Hey, man, if you got a good amount of small pistol primers, when I go up there to pick up my lead, I'll sort out all them small pistol primers for you and take them home, too. I've got buckets of brass, too, brother, and I sort all that crap by hand, and it takes
some 45
forever.
brass? Do you need some 45 brass?
I know. I can always use – I have, like, a tote or so full of small pistol primer brass, but I can always use more, man. I'm never going to turn it down.
Well, about small pistol primer because I kind of like that stuff. It's actually working pretty good. But
see, exactly. It's the large pistol primer stuff I give away. I hoard that small pistol primer stuff. I don't want the large. Somebody else can take it.
I've got 4 of those 3-gallon pool chemical buckets full of 45 brass.
Yeah. What happened, Chico? What happened to me and why I ended up getting into the small pistol primer brass? And it was just happenstance. All right, it wasn't anything scientific. I do know from
to a range where everybody shot Blazer.
Well, no. What happened was, I mean, one, I know I've read reloading books. I've read enough things on accuracy and all that stuff to know that with a certain amount of certainty, that small pistol primer is going to work better in 45 ACP for accuracy purposes. However, the reason why I got into it was because my chamber and my bullet or my barrel diameter, my bullet needed to be right at 451, and then with the case, with certain cases, it made the diameter of the round too large for the chamber. So then I found that Federal cases were some of the thinnest cases, and they would feed reliably, and they would plunk test and all that with the right size bullet. So then I started using Federal cases, which at the time they were always going to the small pistol primers. Now they're kind of half and half. Mm-hmm. So that's how I ended up with the small pistol primers, because I was using the Federal brass, and then I got started using it, and I stumbled onto a unique load in my 45 with a 200 grain semi-wad cutter that is just a tack driver, and I won't come off of it. Like small pistol primer, 200 grain semi-wad cutter. I just have my load for that, and so it was kind of happenstance that it came into that. I know Kyle claims that he can shoot like. I believe it's like the corner of an edge, like not just the edge of a plate, but a corner of an edge of a plate at 300 yards with his 45 ACP. I'm not that good, but
no, I've never said that, sir. That's just absurd.
But I can do pretty well with it. So when I stumbled across mine, I kind of stuck with it, and I think
the way that I stumbled across my small primer 45. Is me and a group of guys, we all go down to the shooting property, camp out for the weekend, shoot up and, train up, do some target practice and run some drills and all that stuff. And I got to noticing once I'd get home, because they just let me have their brass because they don't reload. So as long as I'd pick it up, I could have the brass. So whatever. I get home and wash it and, wet tumble it and all that stuff, get ready to load it. And all of a sudden, kink. Oh, what the hell? Or actually going down's fine. When you go to seat the primer on the upstroke, kink. The hell? God, yeah, kind of like 380. but I just throw it in a bucket because I was pretty sure there was a use for it. And once I got about 50 rounds of the small primer brass, I'm like, I'm just going to load this up right quick and shoot it and be done with it. That way I don't have to keep picking up this brass and sorting it. Well, I loaded it up with my standard load, and it was better accuracy than the large pistol primer. So I picked up every single one of those pieces of brass. I was like, man, this is great. I'm just going to leave the stuff laying there. You know, sweep it up in a pile, throw it in the trash, whatever. I wasn't going to take it home. And I was like, man, I have destroyed the bullseye out of this target. And there might be something onto this. And I've reloaded them a couple of times since then and had the same results. So I'm all right with it.
Yeah, Bacon and Eagle Eye talked about bullseye shooters using small pistol primer brass. I've heard that. I don't know if that's true or not. Like I haven't talked to. I mean, the only bullseye shooter I know is Thor's axe. So, and he doesn't even really technically. I don't even think he shoots competition anymore. But I've heard of it. I just don't know if that's what's going on or not.
Well, I think the correct answer is that you're going to find, if you're picking up range brass, you're going to find a whole lot more of the large primer ones. But you need to separate them and do load development for your own handgun and determine for yourself which works best in your particular gun.
Absolutely. I mean, it's all trial and error to some degree, right?
I've heard my buddy Nathan say that on numerous occasions. Anna Mooser says that too. Don't be lazy. Do your work. Do your homework. Get your own load development done. And I binge watched his videos today, y'all.
Yeah, how'd it go? How'd you like it?
I found some stuff on there that I was very interested in, and then other stuff that not so much. But one of the things that it got me to thinking about our chat. You know, my wife won't watch our live chats. My daughter won't watch our live chats, and I think it's boring to them. And I think the reason that it's boring to them is because they're not interested in reloading. If you're interested in reloading, I hope you'll find something that's informative and entertaining in what we do. But
I have a very informative and entertaining question for everybody, including the side chat and the panel. Okay. The dreaded 380. Right?
Not dreaded. Revered.
Can you reload it with 9mm dies, or do I need to buy 380 dies?
Dude, I want to say something here, and I don't know this is right. And I hate to say shit I don't know is right, but I think you can reload it with Makarov dies. But I don't know if you can reload it with regular.
Either, so I mean, hell, if I gotta buy dies, I'll buy 380 dies. I just didn't know because 9mm has the little bit of taper in it.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I think you would have to try it and see.
That'll make a good video.
I think you can. I really do think you can, man, but I'm not 100% on that.
Because I've loaded a bunch of what I call 380 Magnums, which is 147 grain 9mm bullets in a 380 case.
Short seated in a 380 case.
I don't know if that
Hey man, look, here's the thing though. Think about it like this. This is ridiculous because you know your head, the case construction's wrong. But if the bullet seating depth is the same, you technically have the same case capacity. Like, if you don't change the bullet seating depth and it's seated enough to where it's not going to fall out, no. Yeah.
Buy some dies, Kyle.
What?
Buy some dies, Kyle.
Yeah. I've done a lot of.
I can take the barrel out of old Shirley here and start doing some plunk tests. I can try it on at least one, right? Make a dummy round.
Yeah, dude, I've loaded a bunch of stuff with the wrong dies. Like, if you just know how to use your dies and you know what sizes they are, I mean, it doesn't matter. A die's a die. It's a tool. I just would actually have to sit down.
At least once a week, take a nice Q-tip to your carry gun. Make sure you dig all the pocket lint out of the back.
Hey guys, I got a question, and forgive me, but how long does this chat go? How long?
Until 9:30, so 4 minutes ago.
Okay, look, because because I'm doing some work for a veteran, and I have to take. They just dropped their car off at my house, and I hate to be rude and get off here, but I appreciate the invite, man. If you guys will let me again, I'll definitely come back. But they just called when they said I just pulled up in your vehicle, so I'm
No
doing some
worries,
work.
man.
For the vet. I try to help our servicemen, past, present. You know, so I
God
definitely
bless you, sir.
no problem, no problem. I definitely appreciate the link, man, and you guys answering the questions. I'm gonna have some more questions, so y'all let me know if I'm asking too much or talking too much.
You ain't never asking too many questions, sir.
No, and yeah, man, no worries, man. Hop off, do your thing.
No problem. And you know what? I want to answer one question for I believe it was William Chaplin. Earlier he typed, he said he want to know about my YouTube name. So, okay, my YouTube as a child, you know, all my friends used to call me Chico. And if you guys not familiar, Chico in Spanish is boy, right? So I guess my friends used to play with me. They was like, he looks Hispanic. So they called me Chico and I hated it, but it just lasted, you know. And the wise, if you guys pay attention, I do stuff kind of before my time. So I'm an automotive technician and I've been doing it since I was like 7, no BS. My dad's a mechanic. So I learned a lot. So a lot of people say, hey man, you're real wise for your age. So Chico Wise, I just put a Z in it because it's different than the S. You know, so, but I want to answer that. So I appreciate you guys in the side chat. I don't know if William Chaplin is still here.
Yeah, he is.
He is.
Yeah, there he is.
Thank you for the subscription, brother. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
But I'll definitely be back if you guys allow me, man. And I think I'll be seeing Jamie and Kyle tomorrow at the varsity. We're gonna have some dogs and some varsity orange.
Hell, that sounds great, man. I can't wait for that.
And thanks again. He's a good name, Chico. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Yep, have a good one, boss. I appreciate it.
Thanks for all the advice, guys. I appreciate it. Nice talking.
Hey, anytime, man.
Yes, sir.
See you, brother. I'll call you tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Kyle,
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you, man, you gotta lay off this 380 bashing because you know what?
No,
if you ever end up in a circumstance, I'm just saying, if you ever end up in a circumstance where a gun saves your life, it's most likely gonna be that damn 380.
Why do you think it's in my pocket?
I know. You always being hard on the poor 380.
Do you know what this is? The only reason I hate 380 is it gets in my way of loading 9mm. This thing is always in my pocket. I don't care if I'm going to the bathroom from my bed.
You know what, brother? I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna have to dredge up where your address is, laying around somewhere. I'm gonna tell Catherine what you want for Christmas, and you're gonna get you one of those little 380 sorting plates.
The hell's a 380 sorting plate?
A little plate, man, that you take your brass and you put on that plate and you shake it around, and the 380s stay in, or the 380s fall out and the 9mm stay in, whichever way it goes.
I was talking with Jamie, and I told him to set a little Ziploc bag with a little bit of bullets in it aside for me, because of that. And I think I'm gonna try it with 9mm dies and see if it'll chamber and all that stuff. You know, just load one dummy round. If not, I'll spend the $30 and order something else. But this little bastard right here, its only intent in life is to get me to my car, my van, my truck, my whatever. Because if I have to pull that out and start using it, I'm looking for something else to use, period, just for what it is.
That's your lifesaver, man.
It's to get me to my life.
That's your first responder, right? Like, you know, you might have like this giant fire truck and, you know, waiting in the wings or whatever, but your first responder is the most important one to make sure that you stay alive. And that's going to be that little old 380. It's going to save your life someday. I'm telling you. You'll be picking up a truck from somebody. Somebody's going to come crawling out the ditch. Brains. You're going to have to pop them one and singing the praises of 380.
Go ahead, Jamie.
I predict that you will load a 380 with the 9mm dies and that it will not chamber in your gun.
You think because of the taper?
Yep.
Possibly.
I think if the bullet stays in there, I don't think that sizing die is going to size it down low and small enough to hold the 380. I guess it's the same diameter though, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's the exact same bullet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's consult the sacred scrolls.
That's a reload book, man.
Right. And look, 9mm Luger outside measurement at the case mouth is 380, and it's 391 at the case head.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the bad? It's gonna be over here, I think. I don't know. I've never looked up 380. Yeah, no, ain't over there. Okay.
Probably right next to 9mm.
Yeah, you would think, but no, hell no, we can't be doing that.
Maybe it says 9mm Kurz.
Curds.
I think is how it's pronounced. Kerr. I don't know. My
38
German.
Super 9 357 38. Hold on loosely. I'm looking.
Shooting a 2-inch group at 600 yards is something, Fuzzy. You're the man. I don't think I could. I don't think I've ever had a piece of machinery that I was that accurate with.
Aha! Found it. Okay. 380, 391. Yeah. Yeah, 373, 374. The 380 is a straight wall case.
Find a rifle that has a similar base to it, and just tuck it up into a rifle base to on a rifle die to close it up, and then use a universal crimp die. Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, I don't have a universal crimp die for.
You don't have to have a universal crimp die for. It's called a universal. You don't have one, period?
No.
Oh, shit.
That's why I quit talking, because I realized what I said. I don't have a universal crimp die for.
Yeah, it's like shoot. Hey man, that's a taper crimp cartridge. Just find a rifle die, a rifle bullet or a rifle round that has a die body that's the same. You're gonna find there's gonna be something that's right there.
I'm still looking. Hang on.
I mean, it's not like 45 ACP and 30-06, but I mean, there's got to be something close.
I'm digging. Hang on.
Yeah, just get the dials, Kyle.
One more time, sir.
Just get the dials, man.
Curtis is saying that you can make 380 shot shells from a 223, so the die body's got to be close to 370, whatever you said that was. Yeah.
Man, I got so many 223 cases that need to be trimmed. Ain't even funny.
I bet that is a mess.
Yeah, they grow so much. You just get a gob of brass shavings every time you trim them.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that new Hornady trimmer I got. I'm going to do a video with that and see how y'all like it.
Yeah, I'm all for that, buddy, because I just ran my trimmer not too long ago, and I forget how much that can be a pain when you're doing 200-300 rounds. I can't imagine doing 1,000.
I got probably between 500 and 1,000, probably about 800, somewhere around there if I had to guess. What trimmer are you using, Nathan?
I've got a Lyman Acu trimmer. It looks a lot like that fancy $high Jobby Do Forester that makes, but it's a relatively large kind of tolerance. It's not bad. It works. It uses regular die shell or shell holders and stuff. It's an easy thing and it works real well. But it's all manual. There's no way to put I'd have to actually do some machining and welding. Which isn't a problem, but I just don't feel like doing it to be able to run a drill on it.
Yeah, you got to pull your refrigerator out and clean out behind it tomorrow. So
yes, sir.
Keep your priorities in order.
Absolutely. Loads of Bacon says something. They don't make handy rifles anymore. Big Green killed it. Man, I'm gonna tell you what. That is a sad state of affairs for me personally. What you got, Kyle?
As far as case trimming for 223 and 308, use the Lee. It chamfers and deburrs, fits right in, Got the adjustment right here. It's got its own special die. Holds the case. The case doesn't turn. Put your drill on the end of it. See, notice the doodad. And it takes about this long. Done.
Yeah, then the only problem I have with that, and it's personal, man, and maybe me being a little OCD-ish, I just don't like having brass shavings on my press.
Well, not just that, you got to buy that whole contraption for every caliber, for every cartridge.
It's just all you have to do is buy one die.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal for buying that. I mean, I get you, but I like the one thing I like about mine is it's I can set it up. If it just had the adapter to be able to run run a drill on it.
I've got the Lyman hand crank as well.
Mine's not the nice orange one. Mine's like a thinner, smaller version.
Yeah, I got the big heavy duty iron orange one,
and
it works great. It's just damn.
Curtis says a 223 die will work for closing up your 380 cases. So if you want to look into that, yeah, I was gonna say loads of big man. I'm telling you, I love the handy rifle. My dad had one in oh
hell yeah.
What was that thing? What's it in? 22 Hornet, and I like that, but I wanted one in some different stuff, and I wanted one of those Buffalo Classics and stuff, and I've got a 12 gauge shotgun H&R, but it's a shotgun, so it's rated for the shotgun, so I can't really technically use it for other barrels. I got to find one used, and the one thing I don't like that I see a lot of now are these miniature 45-70 handy rifles. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but it's like a toy gun. It's what it looks like, the size of it. But it's 45-70. I'm like, who in their right mind decides this is the way I want to go? Like, I just don't get why you would make that gun so light. Anyway, so yeah, I'm a handy rifle fan as well, and the fact that they're gone is a sad state of affairs.
I had a buddy that had one of those. He had had a 243 barrel, and he lived out on a farm, and he had open pastures, and they had coyote problems. He'd go up there and sit in his barn in the top in the loft, and he had windows on 4 sides, so he could, man, with that thing, he could nail a coyote from 500 or 600 yards with that thing. He was a crack shot, and I just about made fun of him for having that single shot rifle. That was back when I wasn't shooting a whole lot, and I didn't understand exactly what he had. And yeah, those things are well built. That was really nice. He had a scope on it. I mean, man, he could shoot the dog out of that thing.
Yeah, Dad's pretty good with his as well. And what's funny is the one thing I would say about his, and I don't know whether this was Hornady bullets, if it was old Hornady bullets, I don't know what it was, the load, but all of a sudden the group started opening up on it. We're like, what the hell's going on here? And we're really pretty meticulous with cleaning guns, and we got to looking at it, and that thing had about as much copper fouling as you could possibly get into a gun, and not really notice it until all of a sudden the group opened up. I don't know whether it's the barrels in them are a little bit rough, or if because they were older Hornady bullets or what, but I don't have a lot of experience with those small caliber. So that's been my only real dealing with that hand rifle. And that thing was stupid accurate. I mean, like, it's really accurate. I don't know. Well, guys, I think we probably should start wrapping it up here soon because we've been running for a little bit longer than we'd like, but anybody got anything in chat or anything? We've had up to 30 people. It's been crazy. It's been awesome, guys. I really appreciate it. Especially coming back from an off week. And yeah, so.
I do want to say one thing before we get off here. We were talking about trimmers, and I was talking about that Hornady Camlock trimmer. That with those things, you guys be forewarned. If you get one of those, and I'm going to do a video and see how good it works. You have to use Hornady case holders for those. It's that particular, the lug on the bottom that slides into your ram on your die. That piece is.
They got their own.
Yeah, it's unique to that thing. and I ordered like 6 Hornady case holders. Just that right there cost me what, $30?
Yeah, dude, that's a big expense. I mean, that was one of the reasons why I didn't jump in the Hornady one because I like the way it was made. But needing its own shell holder, kind of, I was just like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't know why, but Eagle Eye going to a gun show in Vegas. Man, you were running all over the place. That's awesome.
One thing I can say, the Frankfurt Arsenal Case Prep Center that has the trimmer in it, that is an excellent trimmer.
I've seen videos. It looks really awesome. I haven't. I think I saw TATV did one, and then somebody else did another one. I don't remember who it was now. Doing a review on it, and it does look like it's a pretty awesome tool.
My buddy with the 500 Magnum, which is why I started casting bullets, he's got one, and I borrowed it for a couple of weeks, and trimmed a lot of cases with it, and it is spectacular. It's dial it in, use it, you're done. You trim it, deburr, chamfer, clean the primer pockets. It's a good piece of brass. Ready to go?
Yeah,
but it's $250 or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at some of those other case prep centers, man, and that was one of the things that used to get me is when I first saw the case prep centers, it was, I think RCBS was the first one to put one out like that. And I'm like, wait a minute. You got a little motor, right, with some kind of small transmission in there and some gears running a couple little things and making them spin around. And I'm like, and I'm supposed to pay $200 for this?
Right.
I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. And then
I've got the Lyman, because that's before the Frankfurt Arsenal came out. I've got the Lyman 5 station, I think it is. It doesn't have the trimmer thing built into it, but I really enjoyed using the case trimmer feature on the Frankfurt Arsenal.
Yeah, the Lyman one seems like it's a little bit more useful in that you can change out those bits to do certain things, like especially when you're talking about like 223, where you're trying to, or anything that has military crimps. You can bust military crimps with it.
It leaked them crimps right away.
Yeah, that's some stuff that looks like it's a little bit more useful, but the price was always really high. And then with the Frankfurt Arsenal coming out with a case trimmer as well, and it's practically at the same price point as everybody else.
I would have gotten the Frankfurt Arsenal one.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if anybody's starting out and reloading and you're going to do rifle brass and you need to trim it and get rid of military crimps and all that stuff, buy once, cry once, get the Frankfurt Arsenal. You can do everything on one machine.
Bacon, I'm not going to pass out, brother. I'm all right. I'm making it. I got to keep myself hydrated. But yeah, guys. All right. So go around the horn, saying goodnights or whatever. If we got anything, guys in the chat, if you got any questions, let us know. We'll go ahead and kind of start signing off here.
Okay. Thanks everybody for coming by. And it seems like we pick up a couple of new viewers every week, and that's exciting for us. I'm going to be doing that video on that trimmer, but if you take a look here, can you see those? We've got 35 Remington load 5. This is $41.98, and I've also got some. Where's it? There it is. 158 grain loaded up. We're going to try some pistol bullets in the 35 Remington, some 38 357 bullets, and see how that works out too, because one of the two loadings for the 35 Remington is the 200 grain and then the 150 grain. So I'm excited.
That'll be fun.
Well, did you see them? I got them loaded.
So we driving out to the pasture or what?
Maybe. Did you see that?
Chrono Killingville?
Yeah.
Those look like fun, man.
That's let me see what that is. That is 27 grams, $41.98. That's gonna be cooking, baby.
Yes, sir.
So I'm excited to get these out and get them tested, get that video edited and up. And I think I'm gonna put it on the Reloaders Network for a couple of days, like you were talking about, Nathan, and supporting our network a little better than I've been doing, and leave it private on YouTube for a while.
That's
And
my preferred method. And surprisingly, what I found when I do that, I actually get more total. If you're looking personally, I get more total views when I do that.
and I'm gonna talk to Bacon too. One thing I want to do is learn to get my embedded videos. In other words, my things on the Reloaders Network. I want them pulling off a bit shoot as much as I can, because you never know when YouTube's going to shut us all down. And they
Yeah.
seem to have slacked up a lot lately, though. But what you
Well, I
got
heard
going?
somebody else got banned this morning. So
Mhm.
Anybody we know?
I don't think so. I wasn't it didn't affect me. How about that? So
Eagle Eye Kenny, I have that powder. I did some of that, and I told a lot of guys in comments that I really like that powder. If y'all hold on a minute, I'll go get it and show you.
oh yeah, man, that mirror green, man, wasn't that beautiful? That's something I wanted to touch on earlier. Somebody that I'm happy to see started making new videos is New York City Reloader. I watched that video when I got home from work, and man, it was great.
Whoa, why is that on me? It should be on Kyle. He's the one that talks all the time.
Actually, I've been pretty quiet tonight.
I know, man. Making the line share up on well, we've got Chico, which was good, man. I like having our guests on every once in a while. I don't want to say it means that it takes the load off, but it kind of does a little bit. Something new to talk
It was
about.
really cool having Chico on, man. I enjoyed that. That was cool. He had a couple of questions, and maybe we helped him or just doubly, triply confused him. Who knows?
That's entirely possible. Oh, I like getting different perspectives, man. It's like, we can end up doing a sounding room thing. We all know each other. We're going to talk about the same damn crap, stuff that interests us, It's good to have somebody jump on here and remind us that we don't know what we're talking about.
Not just that, he's from Georgia, and I think him and Georgia Boy need to be on here anytime they want to.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of the show, right?
Yeah.
And I think Eddie B needs to be invited next time we require a special guest.
Chico, you still got the link. If you're done, man, you're welcome to come back. We'll talk a minute or two after we get done. I don't know if you can see this, but can you get any idea? That's Eastwood's mirror green, and it covers great, and it's a pretty color. And
that's from Eastwood or Powder by the Pound?
That's Eastwood.
Okay.
And look what else I got, y'all. Come here. Come here. She ain't gonna come.
Oh, grandbabies?
Yeah, come here, Rigby. You want to say, hey, we're fixing to get off the air. You won't get on. She's playing ball.
Live
Never mind.
TV.
Yeah. But look at that, man. That's a pretty color.
That's pretty. That is.
I
I've
was
got the
going-
light green, the dark green, and the OD green, which is what Georgia Boy was showing to earlier today. That OD green is nice. It come out pretty good.
Yeah, that was I really like that yellow. I'm gonna get me some of that yellow.
Well, tell you what. Stop when you come by here. I'll give you a little bit, and you can take it home and try it before you buy any.
You can't beat that.
So
But,
when you come get me tomorrow for lunch, I'm sorry, I just made earthquake. Ooh, I kicked the tripod. Sorry. What time are you gonna skeet by here, sir?
I don't know. I'm thinking 3:00. If
Okay.
I pick you up at 3, I can leave here about 2:30. Pick you up at 3, and we'll be down there by 3:30. Maybe be home by.
Copy that. That works for me. I'll go down there and eat a couple of chili dogs and some onion rings. I ain't scared.
Well, what do you got coming up, Kyle? You got anything cooking?
Oh, good Lord, who knows? Actually, I've got Tack and Brenda from AOK Foraging and Adventures coming up here in January. I'm gonna try to I gotta make some preparations for that to come, because I'm sure there will be a brood that comes with them. So I gotta head down to the shooting property, but hunting season is almost upon us, and then it becomes the hunting property, not the shooting property. So that's a problem. So it looks like I'm gonna be doing a bunch of fishing and probably start up my 308 reloading adventure again.
Man, that'll be great. Anything on the 308 is always worth doing.
The first round didn't work out so well at all. I'm changing powders and everything. It was terrible.
Bastard. He's been watching too much church on TV.
Who?
Bastard. I don't see how he has time for that. But good luck in Atlanta. Go Healed. Guess you had to be there.
Eddie said, "Come shoot with me. No hunting on our club."
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, there Chico.
Okay, wrap us up, Nathan.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate everybody coming out. So we've had up to 30 viewers. 32, I think, is the highest I saw, which is definitely more than we've had in the past. So I really appreciate everybody coming out. We will be on same bat time, same bat channel next week. No difference. We might have, who knows, guys. We're talking about having seeing if Chico will come on a little bit more regularly. Pastor always has a link. Rob should be with us next week. Hopefully, he's getting closer to finishing up his kitchen project. We will talk about if we're going to have anybody else. We're trying to kind of keep it, somewhat contained and not have guests every week. So, but Chico won't be a guest. I think he's just going to be kind of part of the standing Georgia shooting connection. So, anyway, guys, not to ramble on. Anyway, I appreciate everybody coming out. Have a wonderful week. If you guys need anything, you know where to hit us up on YouTube. Hit us up on Slack. Go to the Reloaders Network. We love having you. It sounds like the cutest thing ever. So, anyway, guys, have a good night. We will see you next week.